What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another video today, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do a high skin fade. So I started by doing a scalp analysis. Is what I learned in school. I comb through his hair, make sure I don't see any lessons or abrasions where I would have to refuse the service are present, and I'm just about to start my first steps. So I start off by every cut by doing a guideline. Your guideline can be in the middle, low, or high. You know, he's getting a high skin fade, so I want it kind of in the middle because the fade gonna go up gradually as you start fading anyway, you know what I'm saying? If he was getting a real high, I would start it a little higher than this, but this is actually perfect right here for a high skin fade. So for my second guideline, I get my clippers and I open the lever all the way and I go up another like 1.5 inches or 1/2 inch just to, separate that first guideline and the second guideline. And while I'm already at it and I see the bottom line, I go ahead and start to remove that bottom line just so I can knock out some steps on the way up, you know what I mean? So I close my lever halfway and then I gradually close it all the way. And then sometimes it leaves a harsh line. I get my clippers and I use the edges of my clippers or the corners and I just get that line all the way out. And I usually do this step first. I kind of skip this step, but it really doesn't matter. I forgot he wanted a little off the top. So he was already at a 1.5, maybe 2. I put my one guard on, I open it all the way, and I just go with the grain, you know what I mean? And I just make sure I'm not trying to gap him, I'm just making it smooth. So now that I took it down a little bit, I get my one guard, and I'm now on my third guideline. I get my one guard and I go up probably to the top of the skull, and I kind of don't pass where the top of his hairline starts. I don't know if you see what I'm doing. You should see what I'm doing, but sometimes it'll leave a harsh or dark line. I go with the grain and I cut it down. And then next, I'm gonna show you guys how to debulk the top of the fade. So to debulk the top of the fade, you wanna get your 1.5 guard, not the half guard. People get that confused, the half and the 1.5. You get the 1.5 guard and then you kind of go against the grain of where that bulk is and you brush it down. It's really kind of like you using your corners. You ain't going too deep on against the grain because you don't want to mess his his hair pattern up, but you just going against the hair patterns. So now I get my half guard on and I start to work that middle line out. Essentially, this is the last step of the fade, but I already know I'm gonna have to do some detail work because I already see a little bulk at the top, and I know the half guard ain't gonna get the middle line out all the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my one guard on and I'm gonna use the corner. I'm gonna open it all the way and I'm gonna debulk. I don't know if you can see that bulk right there after I did the half guard, but I'm gonna debulk that and I'm gonna brush it down. I'm gonna go with the grain, against the grain, and to get that middle line all the way out, I take that one guard off and I open the lever all the way and I use the corners also. Sometimes that might not work. You might have to close the lever up just a little bit just to get that, it's like I'm doing now, just to get that full fade blurry look, you know what I mean? You gotta detail and finesse, you know what I'm saying? So that's all it's about. It's all about finesse, detailing, don't be too heavy-handed. And you see a little dark spot that I just pointed to, I'm gonna get my one guard back on and I'm gonna go against that with my one guard, but I'm gonna brush it down to correct the hair pattern because I'm going against the hair pattern, but I'm not naturally cutting his hair against the grain all the way around, you know what I'm saying? It's just certain spots, and you just debulk. That's all it is, about debulking. Once you get that middle line out, now you just make sure you get all the dark spots out. That's it. So this is what the final fade look like all the way around without the line up. I'm about to get that beard right and I'm about to line him up. I'm really giving y'all too much sauce right now. I really should be charging y'all for this, but you know what? I'm a real activist of each one teach one, and hopefully I'm helping somebody out. You know what I mean? Hopefully I'm helping a young barber out or a barber that just got in the game, even if you older than me, you know what I mean? And you trying to learn before you get in that fight, you know what I mean? I want to be that guy that you go to. I want to be the page that you go to, you know what I mean? Like, that's why you should subscribe, you should like. I wouldn't even say like, just subscribe so you would see these videos, you know what I mean? This ain't about me for real. It's about helping people out, you know what I mean? I don't really care too much about, I ain't no gatekeeper, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely post what I can on here and help y'all out as much as I can. So basically, on that last video, on his beard, he like it cut down a lot, you know what I mean? He like a little fade on it. He really don't like that much hair on his face. And I threw my holding spray on his beard. I threw my holding spray on his hairline. And I start from my right hand. I'm right-handed. So I start from right to left, and then I work my way across, you know. I knock one side out before I do the other, and just make sure everything's symmetrical. I make sure my vertical bars aren't passing his eyebrows, you know what I mean? You don't want it passing his eyebrows, and it's a pushback, you know what I mean? You can push the vertical bars back also, you know what I mean? And I use my right hand most of the time, but sometimes you might have to switch it up. You might have to use your left hand, like this. I just switched it up because the angle, you know. I learned to be ambidextrous, and that's a good thing that I worked on since I got in the shop. I worked on using both of my hands because I didn't want to be like handicapped, you know. I didn't want to just only use my right hand. Now the angles that I want, I can't get to them because I haven't practiced those angles, you know what I mean? But as you can see, the line is symmetrical, and I'm gonna add some sauce. So before I add my enhancements, I make sure the line is crisp before the enhancements. He prefers this, you know. I don't, you know, a lot of people are, you know, anti-enhancements, but he has light spots, and I think this is gonna make the haircut look real good, you know what I mean? My enhancements last. Long as you just gonna go to the shower and just scrub it out, it'll last about 2-3 days, you know. I put a little holding spray on top of it, and I don't add that much, you know. It's all about finesse, man. You don't want to go out and then it look like you got a painting on your face, you know what I mean? Like you ain't come get your makeup done, you came and got a haircut, you know what I mean? So I make sure I consult with him about the enhancements, and he let me do my thing, and I just think everything turned out to look real nice, man, you know. So, but after the enhancements, I'd like to go over the line one more time just to make sure I'm getting all the uneven areas, you know what I mean? And I'm just checking my work and double checking, checking my mirrors, you know, looking at it at different angles and different lightings, and just making sure I let my client leave here happy, you know what I mean? That's all it's about. It's about the client. It's about making sure he happy with the haircut. So boom, this is the final results of the haircut with the beard. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, 1 through 10. This is a real blurry fade. I feel like me, I'm a real, I give it an 8.5, you know. I just want to be better. I just want to be great, man. That's all. I just want to be great, man. Ain't no haircut ever gonna be great. But yeah, y'all leave a like and comment and let me know what y'all think.